Morning Stampers, I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and the project I have to share with you today is a really fun one. And as I was writing a little write-up, the video description for this one, I actually said that I think that this stamp set might be a must-have for any stamp collection. So I know that is a big claim, but I'm going to talk about Modern Garden today, and we're going to go through just really the range that this stamp set is good for. So I know it's a floral and like there are lots of flowers in our collections, but this one's pretty special. So I'm going to show you a really simple card, stamped ink and paper, a little bit of blending brush in there that will show off this stamp set, and it's really gorgeous images. I think you guys are going to like it. So make sure you say hi if you're popping in for our video this morning. Always good to know who's here. And I also changed some settings recently, so hopefully this is coming through okay. All right, so we are going to switch our camera here, and there we go. So I have here my stamp set. So this is, like I said, Modern Garden, and whoa, there you go, really close, right? That's just what you wanted, the up close and personal view of Modern Garden. Actually, I'm gonna switch something just a little here. There we go. Okay. With our colors. There we go. All right, so like I said, Modern Garden, a really outstanding set. Happy pre-Friday, Kelly. And yes, it is incredibly wet here where we live in central Illinois. So we're super rainy today, which makes it a little bit dark in the studio, but hey, we've got a cheery card, so that is going to make everything okay for us. I have a couple of things to show you. I have some thick basic white cardstock. Always score your thick basic white cardstock so that it doesn't crease. I have a piece of Modern Garden Designer Series paper, and if you were worried that you were going to miss the Designer Series paper share that I run, I'm going to show you a little bit more about that at the end, and I'll have some posts on my LovenStamps Facebook page about this, but I'm going to reopen for another round because this was so popular, and the first round of these have gone out, and so I've had some people ask if they could still get in. So anyway, this is a great card for using with that paper share because you're going to cut yourself a 4" by 5 1/4 piece of Designer Series paper, and this is going to be our card base here, okay? So watch for more information about how to sign up for that paper share if you missed out the first time. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this on here, and I'm gonna show you two different versions of this card. This one is going to feature the Wild Wheat color, Poppy Parade, Calypso Coral, and Mossy Meadow. But this paper is super flexible and can be done in lots, not this particular paper, but this package of paper is super flexible and can be done in lots of different varieties. And let me snag that here. I'll show it to you. Let's see. I'm just gonna pull out from this package here of the paper. Where is there's Modern Garden. Okay, so here's the paper pack for that paper share. But here is Modern Garden, and you can see, like, this is a very specific set of color values. But this paper here comes in lots of different values that all mix and match for really gorgeous effect. So this is Modern Garden, and you can see that you could pick a really different color set from any of these papers and just have a really different experience with this set. So the flowers that are in the paper are in the stamp set. Here are the Cordain cardstock colors, because with the paper share you get the ready to go card bases. But the one we're going to use is this one today. So I'm just going to start off by adhering this to my card base because this is just a really quick and simple background here. So we're actually only going to use the edges of this. So if this horrifies you that I'm gluing down a whole piece of paper, remember you can take your die and you can die cut a piece out of the middle before you glue it down so you're not wasting paper. And then we're gonna go ahead and this is gonna be a vertical card here. We're going to start stamping here on our layer that's gonna go in the middle. Okay, so if you're gasping because I'm gonna cover up all that gorgeous DSP, well, okay, I get it, I'm gasping a little too, but just you could gasp in the comments and share your terror together. All right, so we're gonna pull in some of the images here from Modern Garden. And what I wanna do first though is take a piece of Post-it note. So this is just, you know, a sticky note here. I really like this size. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5-inch size. I think it's probably 5 by 3 because if you're doing a long direction card, you can go all the way across here. We're doing vertical, but that will be good. Now I want to give myself sort of a border to follow. So I'm gonna do this here. Here's our sticky part. And I'm gonna have a torn edge on the top part of our piece here. But I didn't wanna just tear the whole note because then it has a tendency to vary more in size, and I want it to be overall kind of straight. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of variation so that it looks like, you know, there's some extra interest to that top edge there. See, like that? But I'm going to go ahead and apply it to our card here so that it's kind of straight across the bottom. I bet we can get it a little straighter than that. That's a great thing about Post-its, right? They're easy to move. Straight across the bottom, but then it's gonna give us that extra torn edge on the top. And this is a masking technique, which is kind of an oldie but goodie. Honestly, if you haven't done masking for a while, then you'll want to for sure pull this one out. So let's pull our ink pads. And when I have a card like this where I'm doing a whole bunch of stamping, I just love to open all my ink pads at once, keep my other card pieces out of the way, but then I can go back and forth easily between them. And the other thing that I have handy when I'm doing this is definitely my chamois here so I can clean stuff up. Yeah, Kelly says she's surprised more people don't cut out DSP pieces. Usually I do. Like if I was making this for, you know, a bunch of cards or something, then I definitely would, but we're just gonna splurge today together. All right, so now stamps. I'm gonna use some of these images here and I'm going to start filling in along the edge. So I'm gonna use Poppy Parade here for some main images. And I wanna make sure that I am right up against my Post-it note so that I have a really nice edge that's being defined by our stamping. Okay, I'm gonna re-ink each time. And then I'm gonna give those some flower centers. So there's 2 flower centers in Modern Garden here, the large and the small. Calypso Coral, because I've just re-inked it, is a little bit strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp off before I stamp on each one so that I have a really nice contrast there between our Calypso Coral and our Poppy Parade. And you might notice here that I went a little bit on the edge there. I actually really like that white off center in there. So I'm gonna leave that. And then we're gonna go ahead and fill in some more space. Hello to the Bahamas, Charlene. Geesh, enjoy. So when I stamp collage stamping kind of like this, I always start with the largest images first and then work down. So I'm gonna go with second largest. This is the next flower I'm gonna use. And again, this one is gonna be Calypso Coral because we're pulling colors here out of our designer series paper. And so I'm gonna use Calypso Coral. I'm gonna stamp off each time just so I have a really nice, lighter color. And then I think the centers for this one, I'm gonna use the small center and I'm gonna use Wild Wheat here. So we'll give this a little Wild Wheat center. I think I managed to get that one right on the edge of the mask, which is perfect. Now, you see I ended up inking the edge of my block here. This is a tiny stamp and a large block, so you wanna be extra careful. There, I just cleaned that off with my chamois. That's how quick it was. You wanna be extra careful to watch your edges of your blocks when your stamp and your block are so mismatched in size, so you don't catch edges all the time. All right, and then we're gonna fill in with a little bit of this little mass flower. So why do I love this floral set so much? Because there are so many choices in here to mix and match. Really endless, even to the point of these poinsettias here. So this can be very Christmas stamp set, including Christmas words. It has a birthday message. It has special day. That is anything, right? Graduation, promotion, retirement, like all kinds of happy occasions, wedding, best wishes for a fun-filled future together. That could be for a wedding or all kinds of fun things. The best wishes can be used without the rest of the greeting. So you would ink just best wishes and then have some flexibility there. This is really an outstanding basic stamp set for all kinds of occasions. All you have to do is change the flower colors. So I'm gonna show you another version of this card when we finish that uses a different color set, and I think you'll agree that it's pretty, it's still Modern Garden even, so still the same designer paper, but it is pretty different in its feel. So, all right, so let's get just a little bit of the wheat in there. I'm gonna fill in some of this spot. All right, and now we are going to add some leaves. So there are a couple different great leaves in here. We have these little tiny leaves. We have this larger leaf and its detailed center. So I'm gonna pull Mossy Meadow for this because that's the color in our paper. And we're just gonna start adding some leaves here. Remember, you can use this leaf both directions. I think actually, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna use this multi-leaf here first because it's a little trickier to fit in, and then I can go back with the tiny or the other leaf, and there we go. So I really like this one for putting along the, with the tiny flowers here. So I'm gonna put a couple of leaves in there. Maybe I'll pop one in here since the rest of that's hidden by the mask. Maybe I'll put another one in there, okay? And then now I'm gonna go back and fill in this one that's a little bit trickier to accommodate here. So I'll put some of these in some of these empty spaces. Usually I like the leaves to look like they're going to a specific flower, but you can be pretty flexible with this one, so not a huge deal. Okay, when you think, oh, should I put one more? Stop. That's when you stop. Don't put the one more. Undoubtedly, I put the one more and I'm like, I should have put while I was ahead. All right, so we have our base here, but before I take this off, I want to pull in my blending brush. And this is where, this one is yellows, my yellows family right now. And even though it has sort of a dark spot in the middle, you can see that that is not coming off with the ink. It's very yellow. So I'm gonna use wild wheat with this. I'm gonna swirl a little bit to pick up ink, but I'm not gonna touch it directly to my paper. I'm gonna touch it here to my scrap background and get most of that ink off because I do not want a very dark color. I want just a tiny bit, okay? And I'm gonna make sure I focus here on the space between the mask and where it's gonna come off, okay? And I'm gonna pop just a little bit of color in there, maybe a little bit up here. It does not take a lot. It looks right now to you, I'm sure, like, wait, did you do anything, Meg? But it is in there, I promise. There is color. And you can even peek just a little bit by pulling this back. If you think, oh, should I put more or not? You can peek just a little bit, but I'm gonna rip it off, ta-da! And I'm happy with the amount of ink that I've got on there, okay? So sometimes less is more. And then I could, of course, I might set this mask back here in my box so that I just have it for the next time. There we go. For the next time that I want to do this, because I can tell you right now that masking and this stamp set, this Modern Garden stamp set, are going to be a fantastic combination. Okay, I'm not done with that yet. All right, so now we need a greeting. This one, it could be anything. I could put any of these things in there, but I'm just gonna go with It's Your Birthday because I always need more birthday cards. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink this one in Poppy Parade and go ahead and stamp this on here. Okay, so now I have It's Your Birthday there in my spot. And this space right here is, like, in my mind at least, begging for some kind of extra thing. So I'm gonna bring in another piece of the basic white cardstock and I'm gonna use a different flower, so one we haven't used yet. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this on here. I'm gonna give it, I think this time I'm gonna give it a nice wild wheat flower center. There we go. And you can see right here, so this center is not the same size as the floral. That's part of the design of the floral, and it works perfectly that I didn't stamp the whole piece here because it just really kind of echoes that same design aspect. I'm gonna pull in now my leaf again, and I'm gonna add a couple little leaves here. Okay, so there we have our floral, and then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut it. Now, the other part of the Modern Garden stamp set bundle is actually a punch. It's the Modern Oval Punch. And we've used it a few times already here on Maker Mornings with Meg. I'm gonna be using it on a project next week that is gonna show you 3 different ways to use that Modern Oval Punch on the same project. And I promise you, I think you'd have a really hard time guessing what all the 3 ways to use it are, because it is kind of a cool punch. And on one project, I'm going to use 3 very different ways of putting that together. Okay, I'm going to pop this on here. So watch for that next week. I am going to now, I want kind of an accent on here. Some, hey Kim, I'm kind of jealous of your sunny New York weather today. But that's okay. I guess the rain is all right. So this is the gold shimmer paper, gold sparkle paper. It's the one that comes, it was one of those online exclusive papers that just came out. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets. It is the silver and gold adhesive back glimmer paper. And I just realized I forgot to put it in the video description. So you'll have to add it on that supply link yourself. But I want to cut it so that it's just a teeny bit wider than our card here. So we'll go about like that. And then I'm going to peel the backing off it, which is usually pretty quick release, of course. You know, right now it's not cooperating with me. There it goes. And it is just the right amount of sticky. It holds in place. It's not going to shift, but it also doesn't like stick so hard that it grabs things you don't want and you're like, got it caught on your fingers. So, all right, so there is our pretty gold. It's going to let me, there we go. Get that a little straight. Now we're going to take this, flip it to the back side, because I always like to have things with extra dimension. And I'm going to pop this here onto our designer series card base, remember? All right, but we're not done stamping and we're definitely not done embellishing. Okay, so here is our card. So we're gonna open this up really quickly and I'm going to stamp a little bit more. I'm not even gonna go overboard here, just a little. I'm gonna do, I think, wild wheat here on the inside, and we're gonna give it a couple of leaves. And so this is where you can see how valuable this stamp set is and how quick it is to just, add florals to things. So even if I was like sending a card that had nothing to do with this particular stamp set and I needed to do a quick envelope, Modern Garden is the stamp set that I would have right there at my fingertips, because you can always pull it out and with hardly any time at all, add some fun things to your envelopes to coordinate in the colors of your project. It's just a really nicely flexible stamp set for all of those. Oops, I just inked that in. Wild wheat, not the one I wanted. Okay, a couple of leaves, and then we'll give this one a Poppy Parade center. Oh, I think Poppy's not gonna be enough contrast. We'll do wild wheat center there. All right, so there we have just a really quick envelope and stamping inside our card and the front of our card to go together. But like I said, we're not done embellishing. We need something else to go along with this. And for that, oh, thank you. I'm glad you like these colors. I really love wild wheat, and it is not the most accessible color. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. It's not the easiest color to use. It's hard to decide really what goes with it. It's very new to our Stampin' Up! Palette. It's one of the in colors for this year. And it's not a color that we're used to seeing necessarily in sort of everyday life. So I'm really loving the designer series papers for the chance to really see what Stampin' Up! Recommends to go with this. Because it is an absolutely beautiful color. It is sort of one of those colors that, like, the reason for in colors is that they're things that are not you know, endless colors. They're colors that are very on trend and make things look really modern and right now. And so I love that we have those options with Stampin' Up! And I really love Wild Wheat as a very in color. So I can tell you, you see this color everywhere at the store right now, but maybe a year or two ago, you really wouldn't have seen it anywhere. So it's pretty exciting. Okay, embellishments. So the blooming pearls, okay, this is what's left of my blooming pearls here because I love them so much. So you just have to pretend that they're all here, all 4 of those great colors. There's some pretty peacock ones that are all gone, my green ones, these really pretty, I think the color is Flirty Flamingo in the catalog, and then gold. So we're gonna go ahead and use the gold because it matches so nicely here and it really brings out the gold in our paper. So I'm going to pull out these gold, and I'm just gonna put a couple of these on. I feel like there's a lot of busyness going on with our card already, so I don't think we need a ton of, I kind of want this one down further. Did I stick it too hard? No. We don't need a ton of extra to add to our card. I really like when our embellishments really help to strengthen the focal point. So that is why we have our embellishments right here around our It's Your Birthday, okay? So rather than like just scattering them. Although you can also use embellishments a lot of the times, especially dots for a floral. You can use them to dot the centers of your flowers. So then they're more part of the design as opposed to like accent embellishments. Also perfectly acceptable. So, all right. So that gives us our card. I promised you another version with the same supply list, just a different color scheme. And so that one is here. This one uses the Pretty Peacock and Wild Wheat, and I think I used Garden Green instead of Mossy Meadow because this is the Christmassy paper. You can see the poinsettias in the background. Let me pull that one. This is that paper, and you can see with the poinsettias and so forth. But so this with poinsettias full on looks like Christmas, right? The kind of Christmassy greenery in there. But this does not look like Christmas. It uses different florals and it cuts off a lot of the detail in that designer series paper, but still gives you that great general effect. So sort of the horizontal version and the vertical version, lots of possibilities for this. And you can see where, you know, swapping up the colors to match your designer series paper can really stretch this stamp set a long way. So hope you guys are excited about that. I will be posting directions or details later today for the designer series paper share. If you're interested in getting in on that, it's all of the designer series papers from the holiday catalog, the September through December mini catalog, and the specialty papers, and getting those as cardstock card bases again. So I'm going to open that link up, and you'll be able to sign up for that for a very limited time, just 1 week. So through next Thursday. And then I will be getting everyone's pieces together for that share and mailing those. But I had a lot of people who missed the first round of signups, and since those are already mailed, there have been people asking if they could get in on a second round. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. Any questions, let me know. As always, there's a link in the video description or in the comments for the supplies for this card. And I will look forward to, seeing you guys next week. So happy pre-Friday, as we like to say on Thursday mornings. Happy pre-Friday. I hope you have a fun set of adventures planned for this weekend. We have a high school football game tomorrow night in which our marching band will march their full show for the first time since their band retreat. So that's always exciting. And then Saturday, we have Vacation Stamping School, the 18th annual. So registration for that ended quite a while ago, but it's a fun demonstrator training event that we like to offer. And 18th annual. Been doing it for a long time, but it's a really wonderful chance to get together with other demonstrators from around the United States and outside. And we will look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday for that. So, all right, everybody. Let's see. Oh, somebody says, "Yay, marching band! Yay!" So, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you on Tuesday with another Maker Mornings with Meg. Happy stamping!